Okay, we are here today to talk about some service dogs and what they do. And we have Sue, Ella, and Marcia that work with therapy dogs and also service dogs. So go ahead and get started here and let us know and tell us about your animals.
Okay, well, my name is Marcia Bedard, and this is Indy. He was raised to be a leader dog for the blind. He's 9.5 years old, but when he got to the school and found out how hard the work was, he said he didn't want to do the training, so I got a phone call asking if I wanted to pick him up and bring him home, and so now he does therapy dog work. As a leader dog for the blind, his job would have been to help keep his partner safe and to help guide his partner as they went from stay, as they went from home to work, or while they were at work, maybe helping them to go to meetings and helping them to guide around. He would guide them around obstacles. He would help them find a chair. He would help them find the exit, help them up and down the stairs, and help them navigate through traffic and things like that. And he could do all of that. It's just that it was work that made him have to concentrate the whole time. And they said he lacks work ethic, which means he's kind of lazy. But that's our secret. This was what he would wear when he worked. It's called a harness. And they make them at Leader Dog. Here, Indy, turn around. Can you dress? Stay.
Good boy.
Let's dress. Dress. Yes, good boy. It's a little small for him because he's grown a lot. And basically stand, standing. That's one. When he would guide, they would be holding the harness and they would feel the handle move, and that's how they would know to go left or right. Or if he stepped up, they could feel the handle go up. Or if he stepped, Indy, leave it. You can't help him. If they stepped up on a curb or down off of a curb, they would feel the handle move, and that's how they would know what was up ahead, and then they could find their way around. They also learned to use what was called a tracker, which was basically a GPS, so that if they were in a strange place, like say they went to a city they had never been to before, and they were staying in a hotel, and maybe they wanted to find a Starbucks or the local donut shop or something like that in the morning, and they could ask where's the nearest Starbucks. The GPS would give them directions, and then they could give directions to the dog to tell the dog to go left or right or forward to get to that location.
Mhm.
So it would help them whenever they were someplace that was new. It gave them more independence.
Yes.
Kudos, can you sit? Kudos was raised to be a service dog also, but not for the blind. He was raised to be a service dog for disabilities other than vision. So he might have helped somebody who was deaf, someone who had problems getting around, needed to use a wheelchair, someone who had PTSD. I know I'm forgetting something. But
Somebody that might have been ill, like with diabetes or.
Diabetes alert dogs and seizure alert dogs are trained differently.
Okay.
So they don't fall under either one of these organizations. But for someone with autism, okay, he didn't get to be a service dog because when he went to doggy college, they do x-rays because labs, and he's a lab with a little bit of golden retriever in him. They do x-rays right away because a lot of these dogs have bad hips. And sure enough, one of his hips is bad. He has what's called hip dysplasia. It's a big word, but it just means that it would be hard for him to work later on as he gets older because his hip wouldn't work quite right. So he was released, and because I was his puppy raiser, I got first choice to adopt him, and I did. He is 7.5 years old now, starting to get a little gray on his chinny chin, and he misses listening to you kids read something terrible.
They both
I
do.
know Indy does too. But he brought some things today that he'd like to show you that he might have done
Great.
if he were a service dog. Kudos, can you sit? If I was a person who used a wheelchair and I fell out of my wheelchair and I was home alone and I had nobody to help me, I might need the telephone, so I could ask him to go find the phone. Now, He doesn't know where it is right now, so we're gonna see if he can find it. Kudos, where's the phone? Can you find it? Where's the phone?
I'm not that great.
You bring it here?
I didn't hide it very well, I guess.
Bring it here, come on. Up here, good job, thank you, so then I could call 911 for help.
Unfortunately, Kudos can't dial 911 because his fingers are too fat.
His feet are too big, aren't they? Say my feet are too big. Again, heel.
Indeed, here.
Heel means to come around and get on my left side. I might, from my wheelchair, be able to put his little dinner mat down, and I might be able to, I'm sorry, Indy. I might be able to put his dish down on the floor and, ooh, are you hungry? I can't give him any of these.
I got 'em.
Okay. He's allergic to some foods, so I can't give him any of Kudos' treats. Are you ready? Are you hungry? See how good he is? He sits and waits. He's very polite. Are you hungry? Okay.
Aw.
So he would eat his dinner. If it was his real dinner, I'd give him a lot more than that. Now, see what he's done? He's moved his dish, and I, from my wheelchair, I cannot reach that dish. So I'm gonna need some help here.
You did?
Bring it over.
Come,
Kudos, I need your dish as soon as Indy's through sitting on it.
Indy.
Can you help me? Thank you. Can you get your
Yeah.
mat too? Oh, what a good helper. Give me 5. Ah, that's my man. Okay. Some other things that sometimes people have problems with, they might have, their hands might not work real well. They might have difficulty getting undressed. And so, get over here so that you're not with your tail to the camera. Here, ready? Can you help me? Tug. Oh, tug, tug, tug. Oh, thank you. He can help people get dressed, undressed. They can be taught to help somebody roll over in bed if they get bed sores or something and they need to move a lot. Okay, heel. Some of you might have seen the really cool vans that a person with a wheelchair uses, and the doors will open on the side and the platform will come down and they can wheel out on their platform and go into the mall and go shopping, okay? So let's pretend I'm one of those people and I want to go to the mall early because it gets so crowded. So I go early with my service dog and I get inside and I do my shopping and I come back out and I drop my keys and there's no one else in the parking lot. Remember I told you I was really early? Well, with my service dog, he will get the keys and he will bring them to me so that I can get in the car and we can go home. Does that sound good to you?
Well, what if you're in the store and you paying for what you bought and you drop your credit card?
I hate when that happens. Oh, bring it here, turn, left. Oh, thank you, and now I can put it back in the machine and we can get those dog cookies that you wanted. Yeah, if I were taking my medicine, a lot of people with disabilities have to take medicine a lot of times. And I get my pills out and I take my pills and I drop the lid. Thank you.
Hope she washes that first.
Yeah, wash your hands. Sing happy birthday, wash your hands.
So they can be very helpful in picking up things for you when you drop them. We don't have a door here. I was going to show you. He could be taught to open a door or pull a door open or a drawer open for the refrigerator door. We can hook something on it so that they have something to tug. And you tell them tug. Let's pretend here. Okay, this is a door. Kudos, can you help me? Tug, 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 tug. See him back up and he pulls it out and that would help open the door for me. It could be the refrigerator door, because if you're using a wheelchair, you can't get very close to the refrigerator door. Some of them are even taught to get things out of the refrigerator door for you. So those are the kinds of, some of the things that he might do if he were helping someone who uses a wheelchair. If he helped someone who couldn't hear, he could tell them that the baby's crying in their bedroom, the cookie timer went off, that's the most important one to me. I want those cookies to burn. If somebody's knocking at the door, if the delivery man is there, right now we have a lot of delivery people coming since we can't go anywhere. So those are the types of things that he would do for someone who can't hear. Someone with PTSD, and you've probably heard that a lot, it's called post-traumatic stress disorder. and it's a person who's had something really, really scary happen to them. And now things, even though that's in the past and it's over with, things still frighten them. They still worry about things. And so the dogs who help with PTSD can do things like, if I go shopping and I'm afraid of something coming up from behind me, turn, sit. If I'm up at the register paying, my service dog, turn, sit, wait, would be behind me, and he would let me know if someone came up behind me. He would turn and nudge me or something like that, so that I would be able to turn around and I would be more comfortable.
Some of the other things that a PTSD dog will do too is like,
Yep.
if you start showing signs of stress, like for example,
Yeah.
say you start shaking your leg like that, or you start
Yeah.
pulling on your hair or your ear,
Oh, see what he
they'll
did?
get in your lap like that,
Oh, thank you.
and then you start
Oh,
petting
okay.
them and it helps you calm down.
Ah, thank
Another
you.
thing they'll do is if during the night you start to have a nightmare or night terrors, they will come and they will wake you so
And
that
snuggle up
and
by you.
snuggle up with you and help you calm down.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, we've both talked to a lot of people with service dogs over the years, because this is my puppy at home is my 15th puppy, and yours was
Number
your 17th. So we've met a lot of people with disabilities, and they all tell us all the different things that their dog helps them do. You know, finding their favorite coffee shop, or helping get clothes out of the back of the washing machine that they can't reach. But the one thing that all of them will tell us that they all have in common is that they're their best friend, that they can tell them anything and they don't tell anybody else. They keep a secret. They're better than anybody I know about keeping secrets. And they're just a good friend.
We don't teach them necessarily all of the things that they're going to do when they become service dogs. We get them when they're 8 weeks old, and we teach them their house manners. We teach them the basic obedience. We teach them how to stay calm in public. We teach them to ignore all the distractions that are in public so that they can focus on their work. When their jacket is on or their harness, that's when they're working. When that comes off, then they're just the dog at the house.
They get to be a dog, yeah.
And this guy will tell you that's the best part of his job.
Oh, and what to do if you see a service dog or a dog with a vest on, okay? If you see one out and it's with somebody, you can go up and say, oh, what a cool dog. Talk to the person. Don't walk up and talk to the dog, because you might distract it and then it won't be doing its job. And especially for a visually impaired person, a blind person, they might walk off the curb or something like that. But talk to the person. You can always ask, may I pet your dog? There's only 2 answers. Yes, you may, or no, you may not. And if they tell you no, like a lot of times we will say no when we're puppy racing, and you might see us in the Schnucks or Deerbergs or in a restaurant with our puppies. If we say no, it's not because we don't trust you or we don't think you're good enough to pet our dogs. It's because we know that our pups at that time are easily distracted, and we want them to be able to ignore other things that are happening around them.
Because when we do have them out at those times, we are doing training. And, you know, and if we're trying to keep them focused and we let people stop and pet them, then
They start looking to see who's going to
what
pet
they're
them
looking
next.
for is who's going to pet me next, and who's
Yeah.
going to take, who else can I find to play with?
And then one other thing too, if ever a dog runs up to you and he's wearing a vest, and there's all different colors and kinds of vests, because there's all different kinds of groups that train these dogs. That dog, there's a problem. If they run up and they have their vest on and they don't have a person with them, something's wrong, and they're coming to you and asking for help. So you, or get an adult if you can, and follow the dog to see, because it probably means that their person, something happened and they need some help.
It could be that their partner had a seizure, and they're trying to find someone to come and help their partner. Or it could be that they fainted or have fallen, and they need to find someone to help them. And that's what they're trying to do. So, and the
Yeah.
thing to do is find an adult who can do that for them.
Right. Never walk up to a dog that's out anywhere, and not just service dogs, but any dog. Never walk up to a dog that's loose and go to pet it. It may look friendly, but you may frighten it, or it may not be friendly. So always find an adult and ask them first, if this is your dog, may I pet your dog? Okay? Because we don't want you to get hurt. Dogs sometimes are really good dogs, but if they're scared, they might do something that they normally wouldn't do. Can you think of anything else? I'm trying to.
We covered just about everything, except how do you pet a dog?
Oh, yes. How do you greet a dog? If you go up to a dog that's new, let's see. He looks like he's gonna sleep for a while. So let's try this one. Kudos, over here. Excuse me, is this your dog? Hey, back.
Yes.
May I pet your dog?
Yes, you may.
He's cute. What's his name?
His name is Kudos.
Hi, Kudos.
Sit. Kudos, sit.
You said you're not my mom.
Like, that's my mom.
Hi.
So notice how she has her hand in a fist, so he can sniff it and find out where she's been. And then she pets him under the chin, and then she'll walk around to his ear, and then pet him on top of the head. You never go just for the head, because then he
What
might
does it?
think,
Yeah. What does it look like I'm gonna do?
he might think he's gonna get hit on the head,
Yeah.
okay?
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you thought of that. I forgot about that.
Andy says you didn't pet me.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Andy. I didn't do that right. Wait a minute, let's start that over again. Andy knows me.
All right, wonderful. Well, you've given us lots of good information, and we here at the library, we are used to having Indy and Kudos come, and we can't wait until we open up again and are able to have them back. The kids love to come and read to the dogs, and you are also invited to come and read whenever we open up again. All right, thanks very much, and we will see you soon.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.